What is up, everybody? Jordan here with the Deck Box, coming back to you today with a new Sun and Moon format deck list. Your screen probably looks really crazy right now because it's not something we're used to seeing, but we are looking at Zoroark GX Alolan Muk. But real quick, before I hop into this list and the explanation of it, I do want to say a couple quick things. One, haven't put out a video in a few days, had some issues with an editing system. I think I got it figured out now. I think we're now going to be at the spot where my face and my mouth actually lines up with the words I'm saying. It doesn't look like an old Godzilla movie. It's awesome. So I think we got that all squared away. So tomorrow, or the day that this comes out, it might be a 3-day up or a 3-video day, at least 2. So just a heads up on that. And then on top of that, I am not going to be putting out the Malamar Necrozma list that I originally put up on our Patreon that I planned on doing. After playing it, it really was not good. And not only not good, but just like, it's not even worth your time. So I need to revamp that list and work on it. The other Zoroark list that I'm putting out, which is the Zoroark Mac Cargo, that one I will also revamp in the future. I think for now it has a good enough skeleton to get started on, so that will be put out, or it probably already has at this point. But just know that that one will be revamped in the future. I was wrong about a card, I'll say that, and I've seen the error of my ways, and I think the other option is better, and we're actually going to look at that a little bit tonight. Also, one final piece of housekeeping. I am actually going to be starting to write some articles. I'm going to be doing it for my personal Patreon, so if you are a patron, go check it out. If you're not a patron, go try and check it out as well. So what I'm going to do, the first article that I'm going to put out will be kind of my overall view of, it's just some brief points being made about the new format. Can't put it all in there, obviously. But this one is going to be just a brief summary, kind of some thoughts in my head going into it, just my idea of things. And what I'm going to do is that one will be available to the public on the Patreon, so you can go to the Patreon page even if you're not a patron and see this thing. It will be public for free of charge. So check that out. It'll kind of give you a taste of, I guess, my writing style, my content, I guess. If you're watching the channel, you understand my content, you know where I'm coming from, but it'll give you an idea of my writing. So hopefully it's good. I actually almost finished my English degree before, so I know how to write a bit. But what I'm going to be doing after that is I've already written one of the following articles, and it will be going over different decks coming into the new format, or just a card as a whole, or what happens with abilities, what happens with items, supporters, yada yada yada. So I'm going to be doing like a little mini series here, kind of delving into the new format, so to speak. So go check it out. It's patreon.com/thedeckbox. You should be able to find a link on my Twitter in my bio. Check it out. Feel free to become a patron and support the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. What that does is it helps me to be able to travel a little bit more, purchase the cards I need and the things like that, to be able to test a little bit so that I know what content to put out for you guys. It just makes it a little bit easier, and will potentially open up some capital in the future to get some product to you guys in different media. So that is what is going on with that. Without further ado, we're going to hop into this list, and I'll kind of explain my insanity. So first off, we are looking at a Zoroark list. I say that every time we look at a Zoroark list, so that means it's a 4/4 Zoroark line. It just makes sense. And in this list, we're really focusing on the trade ability, as usual. Right is beating, doing the 120 pretty standard. We're going to be two-shotting pretty much everything in the format, but in this list we do run Rainbow Energy, and because of that, we can use Trickster GX and be able to copy our opponent's GX attacks. For instance, I was actually just playing a game and was able to copy Buzzwole GX's GX attack right out of the gate, and take a big knockout there. Typically I like to use it for Lycanroc's GX attack. It can be pretty nasty there. During the World's Open, I used it to KO a Lapras with their attack. So it adds a little bit of extra one-shot potential to the deck, whereas before it wouldn't have had that. So Trickster GX can be really nasty in this. Then moving on from there, the other component of the list, and it is Alolan Muk. Some of you maybe saw this card back in Sun and Moon. You've probably since pitched it. I went out and bought a playset of 4 reverses. I don't think you'll ever need 4 in a deck, but I like to have a playset of things because I think this will be a good answer in the future to some of our ability issues. I'm not going to say all of them, but some of them. So, of course, you have things like Tapu Lele. I actually wrote an entire list today of all of the relevant or potentially relevant basic abilities. And of the 23 that I wrote down between relevant and potentially relevant, I think about 19 of them are currently relevant. So nearly 20 Pokemon that you have to kind of deal with. You have Sudowoodo going to be giving your Zoroark's issues. You have Tapu Lele's for that late game Guzma. It takes away one of their outs. You have Oranguru for the draw support. You have Kartana GX dropping down to take away one of our special energy. You have all these different things causing problems for you. So I figured, you know what, let's take all that away from those people. Let's just use Alolan Muk, shut them down, and basically make the main ability on the field be our Zoroark GX and kind of mess with that. Yes, I know there's other ability locking in the format. There's a couple cards. There is Glaceon GX, which of course only shuts down GXs and only when it's in the active. So that's the strength of Alolan Muk. Well, a couple things. One, Alolan Muk only gives up 1 prize. 2, no one's really going to be targeting down Alolan Muk. And then they're going to go to use their Lele at the end of the game for Guzma and realize, oh crap, I can't do it because of Alolan Muk. They don't think about it unless their deck is solely a basic ability deck. In which case, most of the time, it's not entirely, but that's what's great about this. It kind of sits around till the end. You don't expect it, and it really slows you down. Or could potentially slow you down early if we have this turn 2. They haven't used a Bridget, Bridget's gone. But they need to get a supporter, and they have their Lele, and they can't use it. So that's the great thing about that. It doesn't have to be in the active. Unlike Garbodor, you don't need a tool attached. This is always on. Abilities are always locked with Alolan Muk. So keep that in mind if you do need to play down a Lele in a turn and evolve into Alolan Muk. Play down your Lele first and then evolve. I made that mistake earlier. It didn't cost me the game, but it did mess things up. But then, of course, we do also still have Slacking that can shut down all of your opponent's abilities only if it's in the active. But we'll talk about Slacking at another time. For now, we're going to talk about this list. So anyway, I've mentioned, Power of Alchemy, his ability, but really, I mean, his attack isn't awful. I mean, it's not great. I mean, in this deck, you'd be doing 3 attachments, which isn't fantastic. But I did actually get to use it to take down a Buzzwole earlier. I just needed to. I got stuck in the active, and I started attaching energy to retreat, and by the time I did, I was like, you know what, I'll just take the knockout. And we do play multi-switch in this deck, so that kind of helps to add a little bit potentials, where basically you do 2 attachments and a multi-switch, and you can use the Alolan Muk. You attach a Choice Band, you're actually one-shotting a Buzzwole GX, so not terrible. Without a Choice Band, you're taking down, without a Choice Band, you are taking down Necrozma GX, so really not bad. Not really the reason I play it, but not terrible. Not terrible at all. And actually, now that I'm thinking about the Psychic weakness, there was a card that I forgot to include, which was a Latios. Yeah, you know the one. The sniping one. So let's add that in real quick. Something my friend Matt and I were talking about. And we were kind of debating between, do we play Latios? Do we play Deoxys? And I think I kind of agree with him using Latios because typically you are going to be getting this out turn 1, and Buzzwole isn't really getting energy out as quickly as it was, so Latios has more potential, plus the second attack is able to be used. Lagoon Flight, we're going to talk about this card while we're on it. Lagoon Flight can also one-shot a Buzzwole GX with a Choice Band. So I think for now I'm going to stick with Latios. Maybe in the future make some adjustments, see what happens. But anyway, then from there, once we've got their ability shut down, also keep in mind I would personally play this Alolan Grimer simply because it has this free attack division. Search your deck for Alolan Grimer and put it onto your bench and shuffle your deck. So if you go second and you start this guy, there's a chance that he's going to get knocked out, so you might as well just put the other one on your bench to guarantee that you have the Alolan Muk in the future if you need the Alolan Muk. That's really the only reason I would put it down. Otherwise, don't put it down. There is this one where it can poison. So that might not be a terrible option, but personally, this is the one I'd rather go with. Plus, I think it looks cooler. Then we have the Resource Management Oranguru. You're able to put 3 cards from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck in any order. And then Profound Knowledge, 60 damage. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Mainly going to be using Oranguru for that resource management. Hopefully we can manage our resources better early on so we don't have to use this guy. But if we need to, we can just keep shuffling things back in. Then from there we do have a 1 baby Buzzwole. Really, we're just playing this for the Sledgehammer attack and for that 1 point in the game where our opponent's down to 4 prizes, or potentially the start of a game, and we're in the mirror match where we're taking on some Zorua, excuse me, and we're just taking some easy knockouts. But this is great to just slap down, attach Rainbow Energy, Guzma, knock out a Zoroark when they least expect it. Then 1 Tapu Koko. This is doing a couple things for us. One, it's putting certain things within range. I've already had the chance to use this to close out a game by taking down a Tapu Lele that had 150 damage on it from a Zoroark whenever I wasn't able to Guzma, so Koko was able to hit the bench. So it helps to close out, but it also helps to set up. I could do that 20 early so that I can then take down Lele's later on. Maybe they put down a Kartana, I can hit that. And hitting a Zoroark a couple times, you know, just kind of gets it within range of certain things that normally you wouldn't be able to do. And then we do have 1 Celesteela. After the World's Open, I love this card. Playing with it in any deck that runs Rainbow Energy, to me, just makes sense, because at some point there's probably going to be 6 cards, or 6 prize cards between the two of you. If there's not, it's just trade away. But if there is, you're able to swing for 160, 190 with a Choice Band, which is a knockout on a Buzzwole, a Lele, a Bulu, all sorts of things. And then again, if you've used Koko to Flying Flip, that means your Zoroarks are now within range of being knocked out by a Moonraker with a Choice Band. So that is why we played this guy in the list. Then, of course, we are playing Kartana GX for a couple of reasons. One, we do have Slice Off. When you play it down, it's essentially an enhanced hammer. You're getting rid of one of your opponent's special energy, slowing them down. They can't do what they need to do, and it really helps you as you continue to set up. Then we do have Blade GX. Take a prize card. That's it. And you can close out games this way. Do it all the time. That way you don't have to worry about, oh, am I playing the 7 prize game or not? It's like, no, you're down to 5. Okay, all you need now is your Kartana and Rainbow Energy, and there's really easy ways to get these cards in your list. And then we do have 1 Latios. It has this breakthrough attack. We've already talked about this, and as I'm saying this, yeah, we've already talked about this card. Breakthrough is really the main reason. Choice Band, you 2-shot a Buzzwole, and you can snipe the bench to set some things up. Then we played 2 Tapu Lele GX for that Wonder Tag ability. This adds a little bit of consistency, and of course Energy Drive is not a bad attack, especially in a list that runs DCE. And then you do have Tapu Cure that you can use in this list. Keep that in mind if you got a couple Pokemon on the bench that are about to be knocked out. That could cause a problem for you, especially in some of these spread decks. You know, Shrine of Punishment with with the spread deck is really big right now. So Tapu Cure may be the GX for that matchup. And then 3 Acro Bikes. This is actually something I talk about in an upcoming Zoroark list. Acro Bike just, to me, makes sense in a Zoroark list because what it does is it allows you to have your trade throughout the entire game. What I mean by that is before you evolve into your Zoroark, you have Acro Bike. So you can start trading it as soon as the game starts without having to get rid of anything from your hand. You just make the decision from the 2 off the top of your deck. I've been seeing a lot of Glaceon GX, and I have a really strong feeling that Glaceon GX is going to be really big this next format. I think it's going to do really well. I'm not going to knock it. I think it could do really well, and because of that, I've already seen this a couple times. Zoroark is shut off constantly, but I can still Acro Bike and still kind of search through my deck a little bit. So that is why I include 3. I would love to include 4, but just not a ton of space in this with everything we include. Then I tossed in 1 E-Hammer. Being able to discard a special energy from an opponent's Pokemon is huge, especially if you're also taking a knockout the same turn. E-Hammer off one Pokemon, knock out another, and just kind of slow up their board completely. Plus, if you pair it with a Kartana GX and take off a few energy on the board, you can just really stop them up. Then we have 2 Field Blowers. So I know we don't have Float Stone to worry about on Garbodor. That's not a thing anymore. I get that. But you're going to have the Metal Frying Pan against these people playing Scizor right now. I've seen a few people. I don't think Scizor is that great right now, if I'm being honest. Maybe it'll be better now that rotation is hit. You just don't see it. But you got that. You've got Choice Band that could keep you from being knocked out. You've got various stadiums. I've seen a lot of Ultra of the Moons recently, so that could be really big, getting rid of things like that. And getting rid of skateboards at this point is essentially like getting rid of people's float zones. They're using them for their Lele's. Makes sense. Then from there, we have the one multi-switch, one of the spiciest cards in the list, but so great because what I'm able to do is move energy off of a very hurt Pokemon onto the active, or you know, maybe I just have a new Pokemon in the active and I need that energy to go up to it. So I don't know what's a good example. I guess I get a Celesteela in the active and I have a Rainbow on one of my bench Pokemon after my Buzzwole's been knocked out from doing his big knockout. So I just move that Rainbow energy up to Celesteela, take the knockout. Another thing actually to consider that I'm just now thinking of, so going back to Buzzwole, whenever we attach that Rainbow energy to take a big knockout, what we're doing there is actually kind of hurting ourselves, because what happens is Zoroark can now one-shot you, which you don't want, but it's like, you know, I got 2 prizes, you're getting 1, it's not a big deal. What you could do, though, to kind of mitigate that issue is you attach the Rainbow energy to a bench Pokemon, and then you multi-switch it from the bench to the active Buzzwole, leaving Buzzwole's HP at 130. Zoroark can't one-shot it. So if they can't Guzma you out of there and take a knockout on something else, they're still sitting there at 4 prizes. Your Buzzwole gets 2 turns to do this, maybe even 3. Who knows what happens. To just keep taking knockouts. So another really strong purpose for multi-switch that I hadn't considered before. Then from there, 3 Nest Ball. I'm going to go through all the ball search real quick. 3 Nest Ball, 2 Timer Ball, and 4 Ultra Ball. Lots of ball search, 9 cards. With Bridget being out of format, things have kind of changed. And this is the point where I have to admit my faults and my failures. So, the beginning of this, I thought that it was basically just Nest Ball. Just do Nest Ball. From there, you should be fine. You'll get your stuff, whatever. Boy, was I wrong. So I was having a suboptimal setups, and I just thought, you know, this is just how it is. Got into a little discussion on Verbank or Hey Fonte, I can't remember which one, about Apricorn Maker. And I said, I hate this idea. I said, why would I play that to get 2 Nest Balls when I could just play the Nest Balls, hope to hit them, and then I get to play a Lily instead and draw? Or why not just play Pokemon Fan Club if I'm gonna, because Apricorn Maker gets me 2 Pokemon, Pokemon Fan Club gets me 2 Pokemon, except Apricorn Maker feeds Garbodor, and we've already got tons of items. So that's kind of where my mind was. But I didn't give in the argument. I just said, you know, this is where I'm at, whatever. But I said, you know, I'm willing to try it out. So I tried it out. I was wrong. Okay, so Apricorn Maker, I've seen all the different uses of it. I've seen a lot of the turn 1 uses. Where I get my 2 Nest Balls, but then, hey, I have my 3rd one in my hand, or I get it off an Acro Bike, and my whole bench is set up, plus another Pokemon, like, it's just nasty. And then I actually had, I think it was the last game I played, I didn't have any Nest Ball the first turn, didn't have a chance to get my Apricorn Maker, but I had plenty of Pokemon. I was able to set them up really nicely. Cynthia set things up. Turn 2, I drew it, and I was able to get my Timer Ball and set up some Zoroark. So the best thing about Apricorn Maker is it's not just a turn 1 card, it's also a turn 2, turn 3, whatever the case may be, that allows you to get the Pokemon out that you need. Honestly, I don't even use the Ultra Balls that much, but they're more of a safety net. So just something to consider. And yeah, so Apricorn Maker, if you're wondering what it does, search your deck for up to 2 item cards that have the word ball in their name, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So really strong card, I will admit to it. Keep in mind, I think in November, whenever Lost Thunder comes out, Professor Elm or Professor Elm's Theory or something like that, I don't know what it's called, but something to do with Professor Elm, is essentially Bridget, but you only get 60 HP Pokemon, 3 to your hand, not straight to the bench. So it's got its goods and its bad, but to me that will be the new Bridget for decks like Zoroark with 60 HP Pokemon. I've even considered, some of the cards where they have a 60 or a 70 HP option, or even a 50 or 70 HP option. I'll probably go for the lesser, just so I can use that card to be able to get it set up, because not a lot of things can hit that number right now. aside from Baby Buzz. I know that's possible, but I think that'll be what I'll try in the future. But moving on from the ball search, we do play one Pal Pad. It's going to help us to get back key cards. A lot of times we end up getting our Guzmas back depending on the circumstance. We won't need Apricorn Maker back. We really rarely will need Cynthia back, because by the time we get to this point, it's later in the game. We don't want to be drawing through our cards too much, because we don't want to deck out. I've actually Pal Padded back Mallow, because I know I might need a spicy play later that I need to guarantee I can set up. So Guzma and Mallow are really the two that I use the Pal Pad for at this point. And then we do have one rescue stretcher. This is so we can do a few things. One, we can just grab one of our Pokemon, whether it's a Lele, slap it down, get our supporter, maybe Kartana to get rid of something, or to use its GX attack to close things out. There's all sorts of options. But then typically what I like to do, since it's just one in the list, I like to shuffle back 3 into the deck if possible, only if they matter. But you know, depending on the point of the game, Buzzwole might not matter, Celesteela might not matter. Oranguru, if it's early, really isn't going to matter, but that'd be one to get back just in case you need it later in the game. Yeah, just certain things that you're not going to need at certain points of the game. Obviously, Muk in certain matchups, if there's no basic abilities, you don't have to worry about that. Then from there, I did put in 2 switch cards. I could not avoid putting them in there. Escape Board doesn't really help this deck a whole lot, because you know, Buzzwole's got 2 retreat, Alolan Muk has 4 retreat, just really high, Oranguru has 2, Celesteela has 4, so it really only helps like Kartana, Latios, and Lele. And I wasn't going to just put it in for those 3. And really in this list you could do Altar of the Moon since you're playing Rainbow Energy, but then I just really don't like that, because that means I have to put a Rainbow Energy on Pokemon that maybe I didn't want to put Rainbow Energy on before. So Switch is just the safer bet. And really I tossed these in after I played a match and they stuck my Muk in the active. Didn't lose the match, but I was starting to get nervous. We almost decked out because we were digging so much. Finally found our Guzmas. So then I said, you know what, I'm putting in 2 switches. And so far it has worked beautifully. I actually, at this point, have not lost a game with the list, knock on wood. But that's just kind of putting out my record there. I think 7 or 8 games in. So, yeah, it's going pretty well. And then for draw support, we do have the 1 Copycat, 2 Cynthia, 2 Judge, 1 Judge. I think we took down, yeah. So 1 Copycat, 2 Cynthia, and 1 Judge. And then Mallow, I guess, is draw support. So really only 4 true draw supporters, because we have Acro Bike as draw, which is great, and we have Zoroark as draw, which is great. So that's why I only choose to go with 4 right now. So far it hasn't caused any problems for us. Not a ton of consistency with supporters, but there's a ton of consistency just with the Zoroarks and the Acro Bikes, and like I said, we can get them back with Pal Pad if we absolutely need to. Then we have the 3 Guzma. Guzma is always great to be able to take down big knockouts, especially whenever we're looking at a list that has these tech attackers like Celesteela, like Buzzwole, that can take these crazy knockouts. And something that's really good to do as well is to bring up something that can't get out of the active right away and use Tapu Koko to spread a little bit, just to kind of bring things within range. Then we talked about our supporters. Then the Choice Band, of course, that's going to help with some prime numbers, just to kind of put things in range of a whether it's a 2-shot or a 1-shot. It could just really kind of help set things up nicely for us. And then to close things out, 4 DCE, and I chose to go with 4 Rainbow Energy this time since we can't get them back. I want to have as many as I can to be able to use. So guys, that is the list. Let me save this since we added Latios in, and we will hop onto the ladder. Probably grabbing a couple games with this, just to kind of show things off a little bit. Hopefully it works the way it has been in my testing. Actually just kind of cleared through the first chunk of the ladder with this deck, so looking forward to seeing what it can do. Psychic, Water, Lightning. Like I said, I've seen lots of Glaceon. Lots of Glaceon. I would not be surprised if this was Glaceon. And so this will be where we get to see Acro Bike doing its thing. Maybe using Guzma in quite a few circumstances. Alright, so we get Zorua, we get Grimer, we get Nest Ball, and then I think. Put this guy in the. I can't remember. I think we go first. Yeah, we go first. I'll put this guy up. Yeah, I'll protect everything on the bench. So I could use Ultra Ball to grab Lele and do like a Cynthia. I could use it for an Apricorn Maker, which I know is technically what I'm supposed to do. Okay, so we get Glaceon GX. I know I'm supposed to use Apricorn Maker here, but I feel like with the hand that we can play down, and we've already got a couple Pokemon, we'll have a third. Oh, we got 2 Nest Balls. That answers my question 100% for me. So I'm going to set these guys. Let's see what we're looking at on prizes. Looks like we prized our Alolan Muk. No, we didn't. We got our one. Okay. So we're good there. Got all of our Pokemon except for 1 Zoroark GX. We prized 1 Acro Bike. That's 2. Prized an Ultra Ball is 3. Prized our Judge is 4. That's fine. Prized. What else did we prize? Prized 2 more cards. Did we prize multi-switch? No, of course we have multi-switch. What am I forgetting? Oh, Oranguru is prized. I don't know what the 6th thing is. Maybe Palpad. Can't remember if I saw that or not. Here, come on, let's grab you. Yeah, let's see if it was Palpad. No, it wasn't. Okay. Well, that's fine. So let's put you here. Do I switch out? I think I switch out since I'm gonna be. Yeah, that way next turn we're guaranteed to switch into this. He's not gonna be able to attack us his first turn. We're gonna dump a Rainbow Energy in Choice Band. Not the greatest dumping a Rainbow Energy right out of the gate, but it's gonna get us a Lele. We're gonna be able to dig a little bit. So something we have to watch out with this list that we're playing against is, like I said, our abilities are gonna be locked as soon as they get a Glaceon set up. So that is partly why I'm doing the Lele early as well. But not only that, we definitely have to 2-shot every time. Celesteela will be good to take a nice knockout at some point. Oh man, we could have judged. That probably would have. No, our judge is prized. We couldn't have. That's okay. But anyway, at some point in the game, Celesteela will probably be able to take a pretty spicy knockout. All right, so we get Acro Bike, we get Ultra Ball, so we'll be able to get another DCE out. Let's Acro Bike. We'll dump the Latios, so we can always get that back. We'll hold the multi-switch. Now, I think what I want to do is actually put down the Lele now to be able to get our supporter for next turn. Because we're not going to be able to. I could Guzma, but really I need a draw. Yeah, I'll use Cynthia. And we will pass here. Alright, so there we go. We do have the abilities locked up just like we said we would. See a Field Blower on the Choice Band, that's fine. If he can't get anything else going, okay, he's going to have the Ultra Ball. Probably going for the Lele. Yep, there it is. Okay, so Lily. So they're not playing the Apricorn Maker to get more Pokemon down. They're just trying to speed through things a bit. And that's another card that was kind of debated, you know, just play the Nest Balls and do Lily. But it's just really kind of tough to make that decision. Let's see here. So this is kind of a disruptive. Playing Mars, draw 2 cards, we do. Interesting. Okay. They're playing a little bit more of a disruptive thing. Okay, so we get Guzma. Could Guzma to try to trade. Do I like that? Or do I like just getting more Zoroark? No. Let's at least put this guy in the active. Maybe we can have some trades for a couple turns. We get 2 trades here. Dump Cynthia or multi-switch? I'm actually going to dump the multi-switch. And then dump the apricot or Apricorn Maker. I got to get used to saying that. Not apricot, apricorn. Alright, so we have another Guzma to follow up. We did not get our DCE, which is kind of a bummer, but that's fine. This next turn, depending on what happens, we can Mallow, grab a DCE in an Enhanced Tamer, and then get rid of the DCE on Glaceon. I'd be happy with that. Okay. 3rd trade, here we go. So this is good. These couple turns here of getting Glaceon out of the active are going to make a huge difference for us. So alright, let's... Where'd you go? DCE. That's what our 6th prize was. It was Enhanced Hammer. That's what it was. Alright. We don't have bench space. Let's lock up... No, we're not going to lock up his ability. Well, I mean, I suppose we still can. We'll keep him from using Lele. Since we can't, there's no reason he should be able to. I'm trying to think if there's a better option just to be safe. No, I think I like this. I'm happy with this. Alright, we are going to get rid of the Guzma. We have more in our deck. We still have our Pal Pad to use. So we're going to put this here. We're not going to trade anymore. I like having that Cynthia in my hand for the following turn since we won't have our abilities up. We are going to take the first prize. Yes, Glaceon is going to come out and do its thing. We're going to have to 2-shot it. That's just kind of the point of the game. But he doesn't have anything else out on the field, and I do like that. And he'll free up a bench space. We might potentially be able to use Kartana or at some point bring down Celesteela and close things out. So he's going to Cynthia, or she rather, sorry. Okay. Oh, you know what? Muk also helps here because Eevee cannot energy evolve. That's actually pretty big. Pretty happy with that. Do I want to switch? How many DCE do I have in deck? I still have 3 more. I like switching into a healthy. Yeah, let's try that. Let's switch into a healthy Zoroark. We'll Cynthia, see if we can find ourselves another DCE. We do. Awesome. Alright, so we hit that. Alright, so now's the time to Pal Pad, and honestly I think the 2 Guzma are what we need at this point. We don't need our trade anymore. We just need Guzma to take the knockouts that we want to take. And so we're going to be swinging for 120 here. We are going to 2-shot this thing. He has to 2-shot any of our Zoroarks unless he uses his GX. So his GX, if you're unaware, Polar Spear does 50 damage times the amount of damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon. So right now it's 150, so he'd only be up to 180, but with a Choice Band, which he does have, it would be 210 damage and it would be a knockout, which of course we don't want. Okay, it's just going to get rid of our Rainbow Energy. I would have preferred the Grimer or the Timer Ball. But that's fine. E-Hammer kind of hurts. Double E-Hammer. Oh my gosh. Okay. Things are getting interesting now. We need to basically top deck an E-Hammer. Or not E-Hammer. DC. We're going to Timer Ball. See if we can thin up our deck a bit. Just that way we can draw into something better next turn. It's only the one. We still got some energy in there. We'll be fine. We'll be able to knock out at least the active. I'm going to play this Timer Ball just to, again, get rid of it. Just kind of waste it, yada yada. Done. Man, did not see the double E-hammer coming. That was a spicy little setup there. So far in my Zoroark testing, Glaceon has caused the most problems for me. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But you just kind of wonder if it'll be good enough to deal with anything else. Let's attack with Lele, just in case we do get a way to get Zoroark out. Rescue Stretcher, what can you do for me? Nothing. Gotta click done. Gotta just wait till we draw into that DCE. Man. Double E-hammer. God. I cannot believe that happened. Cannot even believe it. And he's gonna have a third Glaceon set up on his bench. We prized our E-hammer. We've locked up our Kartana's ability, which, you know, that's fine. We locked up his Eevee for a bit, which kind of helped. Dang. I think we know what's going to happen in this one. And sadly, it's going to have to be the last game of the video. Ugh. Gross. Done. I hope that he doesn't knock us out. And even if we do hit a DCE at this point, he knocks us out with his other. Okay, so he's going to bring the fresh one out. We have to two-shot it anyway. We're not going to be able to. This is disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Well, it was going extremely well. That double E-hammer was just absolutely disgusting. Absolutely ruined everything for us. Let's get you out there, I guess. I guess we could have done this last turn, and we would have had a fresh Zoroark. Let's get you down. Let's trade away Grimer. Let's see if we can make anything happen. Anything whatsoever. There's our DCE, finally. We get a Field Blower. Doesn't do much for us. All he needs is Energy on the active, which we know he has because, well, we saw him ace roll it back up. So this is just a final swing for us to swing for 100. Well, guys, I think we know one of our future videos. We're going to have to look at Glaceon GX. We're just going to have to. He's, well, if he had a Guzma, he could have actually taken 4 prizes there on Lele and Zoroark. I still stand by this list being good. I know it didn't turn out well there, but we all know it was because of the double E-hammers. Had it not been for those, we would have had that win. It really kind of messed us up. So, real quick, let me go to, where'd you go? To the deck for you. If you're wanting to give it a shot, like I said, I think I jinxed myself after the 7 or 8 win streak and then saying something about it. But here's the list. Last row here is these cards. Let's just take a second there, and then the top part. So there's the entire list for you. If you choose to play it, let me know how it works out for you. I'm going to keep messing with it because, like I said, it did so well initially, and it still did well. The double E-hammer, just, oh, such a disgusting play. Such a disgusting play. So we're going to have to find a way to work around that. Maybe add some... Honestly, I was thinking about Energy Lotto about the time that was happening, but that's a very rare occasion that you just see a double E-hammer dropped. But yeah, this will most likely be one of the lists that I might write about here soon. If not this list, I will write about certain aspects of it that I think will work well in other lists. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you have enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a like for me. As always, hit me up in the comments, say hey. Let me know if you're going to, what is the next one, Philadelphia. Let me know if you're going, and let me know what you're most looking forward to. And as usual, please be sure to subscribe if you have not already. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I've been Jordan with the Deck Box, where I want to know what's in your box. Have a great night.